Our planet is billions of years old, and we like to think we have figured most of it out. Maps have been drawn, oceans explored, and mountains climbed. But there are still places on Earth that completely stump scientists. No clean answers, no solid theories, just mystery. Let us get into it. The Sailing Stones of Death Valley. Deep in Death Valley, California, there is a dry lakebed called Racetrack Playa. The rocks there move on their own, leaving long trails in the cracked mud, and nobody ever sees them move. Some of these rocks weigh up to 300 kilograms. For decades, scientists had no idea what was causing it. In 2014, a research team finally filmed the rocks in motion using time-lapse cameras. Thin sheets of ice form on the lakebed overnight and melt slowly the next morning, thus creating a slippery surface that allows even a light wind to push the rocks across the flat ground. That explains some cases, but not all the rocks move in the same direction. Not all of them move at the same time. Some trails curve and loop in ways that a simple combination of wind and ice simply cannot account for. Certain rocks travel hundreds of meters while a neighbor right beside them stays completely still. The mystery is partly solved, but the full picture is still missing. The Risha structure in the Sahara. If you look at satellite images of Mauritania in the Sahara Desert, you will see something that looks like a giant eye staring up from the ground. It is a circular rock formation roughly 50 kilometers wide made up of perfectly spaced rings of stone. It is called the Rishat structure. Although scientists first assumed it was the result of a meteorite impact, but they found none of the usual evidence. No fused or melted rock, no shock-deformed minerals, and no impact signature in the geological layers below. The current best explanation is geological uplift, where underground forces slowly push the rock into a dome shape that then eroded over hundreds of millions of years into concentric rings. That explanation is geologically possible, but erosion is naturally messy and uneven. It almost never produces results this precisely circular over such a massive area. Why this particular location eroded in such a perfect geometric pattern has no satisfying answer. The Hestdalen Lights in Norway. In a remote valley in central Norway called Hestdalen, glowing balls of light have been appearing in the sky since at least the 1930s. But they float through the valley sometimes for hours at a time. They change color, change shape, hover silently, and then vanish. By the early 1980s, sightings had become so frequent that residents were reporting them nearly every night. Scientists took it seriously. They set up a permanent research station with cameras, radar, and spectrometers. What they confirmed is that the lights are absolutely real. They register on radar, they have measurable temperatures and radiation signatures, and they have been recorded on video hundreds of times. One theory proposes a chemical reaction between sulfur compounds rising from the ground and ionized atmospheric gases, creating a kind of natural plasma. Another focuses on the unusual mineral composition of the valley rock. Neither theory fully explains how the lights appear to react to observers, from why they sometimes split into multiple objects, or how they reverse direction mid-flight. The boiling river of the Amazon. Deep in the rainforest of the Peruvian Amazon, there is a river that actually boils. Not lukewarm, not hot, boiling. Water temperatures in sections of this river reach up to 91 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to kill any animal that falls in. The local Amazonian community has known about this place for generations and calls it Shanai Timpishka. Geoscientist Andres Russo brought it to scientific attention in 2011 and has studied it closely. What makes this river so baffling is where it is. Boiling rivers are almost always found close to volcanoes, where magma heats underground water before it surfaces. Thus, the nearest active volcano to this river is more than 700 kilometers away, far too distant for that model to work. The leading theory involves deep fault lines that allow rainwater to sink far below the surface, absorb geothermal heat, and re-emerge here. But the exact heat source and the underground path the water follows have never been mapped or confirmed. The magnetic hill of Ladakh. In the high mountains of Ladakh in northern India, there is a stretch of road where cars appear to roll uphill by themselves. Park your vehicle in neutral at the base of what looks like a slope, take your foot off the brake, and the car begins to move forward, apparently climbing the hill on its own. Scientists have a straightforward explanation. It is an optical illusion. The road actually slopes slightly downward, but the arrangement of the mountains around it tricks your brain into perceiving it as going up. You think you are rolling uphill when you are actually rolling down. Many similar spots exist worldwide, but Ladakh stands out because the local magnetic field readings in the area are genuinely abnormal compared to the surrounding region. The strength of the effect here is notably more consistent and pronounced than at other illusion sites. Historically, aircraft pilots have avoided flying directly over it. Whether the magnetic anomaly has anything to do with the visual effect remains an open question. The Nazca Lines of Peru, across a vast stretch of dry, sun-scorched desert in Peru covering roughly 450 square kilometers, lies one of the most mysterious creations in human history, the Nazca Lines. That these enormous designs are not paintings or structures, but massive drawings carved directly into the Earth's surface. If you were standing on the ground, you wouldn't see much, just scattered lines and shallow markings in the sand. But from high above, the full picture appears. Perfectly straight lines stretching for kilometers, huge geometric patterns like triangles and spirals, and detailed figures of animals. Among them are a delicate hummingbird with outstretched wings, a monkey with a long curled tail, a towering condor, and even a spider carefully etched into the desert floor. These incredible geoglyphs were created by the ancient Nazca culture between about 500 BC and 500 AD. What makes them even more fascinating is how they were made. The Nazca people didn't have advanced tools or technology. They simply removed the dark, reddish stones from the surface to reveal the lighter, yellowish soil underneath. By using simple wooden stakes and ropes, they were able to maintain impressively straight lines and precise shapes over huge distances. While we understand how the lines were created, the biggest mystery remains why. The drawings are so enormous that they can only truly be seen from the sky, something the Nazca people themselves could never fully experience in the way we do today with airplanes and drones. This raises an intriguing question. What was their purpose? Over the years, researchers have proposed several theories. Some believe the lines acted as a kind of astronomical calendar, aligned with the sun, moon, or stars to mark important seasonal events. Others think they were ceremonial pathways, used in religious rituals where people would walk along the lines as part of sacred practices. Another theory suggests they pointed toward hidden underground water sources, something extremely valuable in such a dry desert environment. And that is what makes this planet so endlessly fascinating. We have satellites, deep-sea submarines, and supercomputers running thousands of simulations. And still, some things on Earth simply refuse to be fully explained. These are not old legends or folklore. These are real, physical, measurable phenomena that trained scientists have studied up close and still cannot completely account for. A world with no mysteries would be a much less interesting place. If you found this video interesting, go ahead and like it and subscribe to the channel. But there is a lot more out there that science has not figured out yet, and we are going to keep covering it.